Forgive my appearance. We are in Mexico and it is hot. We are going to do a BAI podcast today that has been the most requested podcast topic that we have had. And that is, can we please dive into the financials of what a destination wedding truly costs? We know that one of the key reasons that people choose to do destination weddings is because they cost less than weddings in the US, but how does that actually pan out? So today we have BAI Agent Cyran with Avora Destinations here joining us, and we're going to do a deep dive. So let's have at it, Lauren.
Yes, let's do it.
It's always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
I understand you have a couple that's going to be getting married in a few days at Secrets Playa Blanca, correct?
Yes, correct.
How'd she decide on Secrets Playa Blanca? What's been the journey?
So when I first met the couple, they had just gotten engaged down at Secrets Aquamal. Absolutely loved their experience there. Beach is definitely a priority for them. And so, but they also wanted to be closer to the airport. So we ended up deciding on Secrets Playa Mujeres, and then there was an expected closure for some renovations. So we were able to move up to Playa Blanca, which is just north of Playa Mujeres. Big expansive beach, checked all the boxes, and it's a stunning resort.
Awesome. So let's dive in. I mean, you know, when you were planning with the couple, what was their priority? And like, a lot of times we try to separate, you know, okay, what is the budget for the couple and what their spend is on the wedding, that side of things, the private events, and then there's the other side, which is the guest costs. Was there one priority that was higher than the other for this couple?
I think, you know, we looked at a lot of things just overall. They knew what the top of their budget was, you know, maybe not wanting to, a lot of people, you know, want to stay between like the 15 to 20 range. And that always is kind of variable too, just depending on how many people actually show up, which that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, a big priority for them was that they wanted to be closer to the airport. A lot of their family and friends hadn't traveled internationally, and so they wanted to be very aware of that. So that coupled with, you know, keeping the cost at, you know, what they felt like it was a reasonable amount for, you know, the average 3-night stay for 2 adults.
Okay. So what do we think? You know, where did we fall into range here? So, you know, if we start on the room side, let's think about the guest standpoint. You remember what like a 3-night stay, because, you know, most of our clients are staying 3 to 4 nights. Most of our guests at destination weddings are staying 3 to 4 nights. What would it cost a couple for this to attend this wedding?
Yep, for this wedding, and we had gone under contract, so it was a little bit of a different situation because we were able to keep those rates because of the move. But we were looking around like about $1,900 for 3 nights for 2 adults.
But you were able to keep the rates that you originally had at Secrets Playa Mujeres, and then the resort decided they were going to close for renovations, and then we ended up moving it to Playa Blanca. So so you're able to keep that rate. I think Playa Blanca does price normally a bit higher than Playa Mujeres, so it might be a little bit skewed, but that's okay. I mean, every situation with a destination wedding really is different.
100%.
So from the guest standpoint, that, you know, that was kind of the baseline. Obviously, they could upgrade rooms, they could get bigger rooms, they could stay longer, etc. But that gives a good idea. Do you remember what room category the couple decided to go with?
The couple is staying in a junior suite swim out. So all of their guests are between the junior suite, ocean views, and couple swim outs, and then also a few tropical views. Okay.
How many days are they staying, do you know?
They're staying for about 7 nights.
Okay. Do you remember their total?
I want to say their room was around 3,600, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay, so if I'm the couple and I'm planning this wedding, I'm in for 3,600 for my room, and I'm asking the guests to pay roughly 1,900 or so for 3 nights. On the wedding side, I know that's where like things can get a lot more involved. So do you have the line item of what they spent?
I do, yes.
Let's dive into the details. Instead of starting with the total, like are they doing a welcome party? Are they doing a cocktail hour between the ceremony and reception? What are the wedding costs? Let's dive into those details. So beginning with the timeline, what were the guests' first experience as far as the events are concerned?
So they are planning to do a welcome event with their guests. A lot of the guys are going to be going down to Mayakoba and doing a golf outing. So they'll be coming back from that to attend the welcome event that they're going to be doing with their guests. And then outside of that, they'll be doing their ceremony on the beach. At the wedding gazebo, they're going to have their cocktail hour also on the beach, and then right there next to the gazebo, and then they're going to have their reception at the Jungle Pool Terrace.
Do you know what the welcome, is a welcome cocktail hour for day one, the welcome event? Or is it a,
yes.
Okay. Yep. I didn't know it was, because sometimes couples do full welcome. I call it wedding round one.
Yes.
Right? So it's like a full welcome reception where it's a full dinner and entertainment and everything. So this couple's doing a welcome cocktail hour. That will include all their guests?
I believe so, yes. And it's going to be kind of tied in with their rehearsal.
Okay. So with all those events combined, what was the breakdown on the wedding side? You know, wedding day, what were their costs?
For the wedding side, so they had the Secrets Ultimate Wedding Package prior to the recent price change. So let's also keep that in mind. Just, you know,
of course,
set expectations.
Things are always changing every day.
I say that all the time in my consults too. I'm like, this, but, if, and then, because things are always changing.
It only matters once you go to contract.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
100%. So they had the Secrets Ultimate Wedding Package. So that covered their 30 guests for $37.99, and then they had an additional 8 guests. So they have a total of 38, including them, that are going to be attending their wedding.
And their wedding package was $37.99 plus how much per additional guest?
Each additional guest was $93.
It was $93 times 8 guests.
Yes, plus the service taxes and fees, which
of course
we always need to factor those in when we're thinking about budget too. They
always get hidden. They always get hidden in there. Oh, it's 33% service taxes and fees. So very important note to remember. So what was included in that package?
Yes, so the package is going to include just some basic florals that they can use for the ceremony. I think they're going to be moving some of those over for the reception. The bouquet, I believe, hair and makeup for one person. So just has kind of the more of the basic things, and then obviously they can upgrade from there. Okay,
awesome. So now that included the ceremony?
Yes.
And did it include a cocktail hour in that package as well?
Yes, it does include the cocktail hour
and then
the reception.
It included the reception. All right, so that's pretty nice. So what was the total on that? I can't do the math off my head.
So just for the wedding package alone was just shy of $4,800.
With all of their guests, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for the basic package.
And that's for so obviously we still had the cost of the welcome party to consider as well, which obviously is not going to be anywhere near the cost of the wedding package. Yeah. Were they doing any other events? I know you mentioned golf at Mayakoba, but that's obviously going to be outside the purview of the wedding cost itself. But were they doing any other events at all?
No, they weren't. So they were just sticking with their events, and then outside of that, just spending time with all of their loved ones by the pool.
Awesome. Well, obviously we know group incentives are something that, you know, can really help determine why a couple picks a resort or not. You remember what the incentives were, and not the bottom line, the number, but do you remember like how many rooms free they got based off of how many rooms booked, etc.?
Yes. Yep. So we had a total of 3 rooms that they earned their concessions on. So they got back about $3,900 in concessions.
So they got 3 free. 3 of their guests stayed free basically, but it wasn't actually the guests staying free. How's that work?
So their wedding package basically was their basic wedding package was essentially covered by their concessions.
Awesome, because the couple took the incentives from the group, right?
Correct.
So the group earned the incentives, and the couple took those incentives and basically used it to offset the cost of the wedding package.
Exactly. And I think we see 99.9% of our couples do that, and it really does help to offset those additional costs.
So what is the bottom line then? I mean, is because that was offsetting of that, but I can't do the math. You have the math on your screen?
Yes, I do. So they added some extra florals, the DJ package, string lights. That's another one.
Okay, so they had the additions, right?
Yes, some string lights, food for the photographers. So at the end of the day, their total wedding cost was $10,413.
Okay, that's it. But that included the photographer, that included DJ, right? The string lights, right?
Yes.
You and I agree on the lighting. Like there is nothing that sets the vibe of the wedding venue more than lighting, and everybody is like, well, why is lighting so expensive to set up? Why is lighting so expensive? I can buy a box of lights for, you know, whatever. I mean, you and I know, because we've been in resorts a lot of time, the amount of work it takes to set those lights up is intense, and so that's why that expense is so high. I just set mine up at my house over my pool before I came down here, and I'm like sitting there, it's worth every freaking penny the resort's charged to do it, because it's
100%. And then, because if you're bringing them down here, you also have to think, if you get stopped in customs, even if you have an itemized list, it might not matter to that customs agent, and you're kind of at their mercy. So you might end up having to pay taxes where you could have just paid for it through the wedding package, and then you didn't have to deal with any of it. So it was all taken care of for you.
Awesome. So their total wedding spend was about $10,000, right? But then that was before the incentive of about $3,900. So math on that?
About maybe around $6,000-ish.
$6,000-ish for a wedding of 38 guests. I've done weddings in the U.S. for a long time. There's nothing that compares to doing weddings here.
Yes.
Like, I know I'm biased as a photographer, and like, okay, well, prettier pictures in paradise, but I mean, the event venues, you know, in where I am, it's $20,000 to rent an empty ballroom, not decorated, no food, 6 hours.
Yep. And for 3-4 days with your family for, you know, several thousands of dollars versus a few hours where you have to run around and talk to everybody. Here you can just, you know, hang out by the pool. You got a swim up bar and everybody can just have a great time and relax. And
yeah,
really enjoy.
It's a whole different experience, completely different experience. So.
Absolutely.
But again, I know we're biased. So, you know, hey, if you want to spend 20 grand on a ballroom to rent for 6 hours and where they're literally kicking you out of the room for the next wedding that's coming right after you, at the end of that, you know, you can do so. But I think in destination, I think you get so much more bang for your buck. And this is just one case. So we're going to do a lot more of these in the future. Deep dives on full breakdown of the wedding costs. So that's coming your way. Stay tuned. Awesome.
Cheers.
Always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I